Hi, my name is John Carruthers. I've been working on guitars for the last 45 years. I've worked with such companies as Fender, Yamaha, Ibanez, Martin, and Gibson, and many others. If you'd like to learn more about working on your guitar, you can get my book, Teach Yourself Guitar Repair and Maintenance, on Alfred Publishing. First thing we have to do is select the proper tools. So we're going to need a few things. One is we're going to need the appropriate Allen wrenches. We have this one here that we use for the truss rod. Then we have this one that we use for the saddle height adjustment screws. And then we have nut files of the appropriate gauges, and these are used to slot out the string slots in the nut to adjust the action at the nut. And we also need a capo to hold the strings for us so that we can make the truss rod adjustment. And we need a feeler gauge of the appropriate thickness to set the truss rod and also to set the action at the nut. And then finally, we're going to need a 6-inch scale calibrated in either 32nds or 64/7 of an inch to actually measure the action or where the neck joins the body. Well, we're now ready to do the setup work on the bass. It's very important that we do our adjustments in the proper sequence. We do the truss rod adjustment first, as it's the foundational adjustment. Then we do the action at the bridge and the action at the nut, and then finally we set the string length. It's also very important to do it in playing position, because if you set the instrument on the bench, the weight of the instrument will actually bend the neck and throw the adjustments off. So you always want to try and do the adjustments when possible in playing position. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to adjust the truss rod adjustment. And so we can set our bench temporarily till we get the wrench. Now in this case, this has one that inserts from the headstock, and then it uses a 3/16 inch Allen. Some of them have adjustments at the bottom. Some use other different sizes of wrenches. Some are metric. Some are actually like hex nuts and things like that, or screwdriver type adjustments. But whichever way you have it, you need to have the appropriate tool to do the work. So we insert the truss rod wrench until it engages in the truss rod nut, and then we're going to take the capo and we're going to put this at the first fret. And the reason we do that is to be able to make the measurement we need 3 hands, and most people don't have 3 hands. And so by putting the capo on, that holds the string for me at the first fret. And I try and get the capo so it's right at the fret so that the string isn't arcing up over the fret, that it's sitting flat on it, so that I can get an accurate measurement. Then I'm going to take the bass and hold it in playing position, and then I'm going to fret the neck, the string at where the neck joins the body, and then I'm going to take my feeler gauge. Now, if you look real carefully, the feeler gauge is a 0.015 inches or 0.381 millimeters. And we're going to fret it here, and then we're going to go down to about halfway down the neck, which is usually around the 7th fret, and put the blade in and see if there's any space. Now, if you look here, the string is moving just a little bit, so that it may need just a little adjustment. Let's see, right now it's actually lifting up. So if it's lifting, that means that the truss rod is just a hair tight, so we need to loosen it. To loosen it, we go in a counterclockwise direction. So once we do that, we'll take a recheck here and see what we've got. Still lifting just a hair, so we need to do a little bit more. Usually it's a very subtle amount of adjustment. If you have to do too much or it doesn't feel like it's working, you might want to check with somebody who does it on a regular basis so that you don't accidentally break your truss rod. So now it's set just perfectly. The blade just fits in without lifting the string, and it has no space whatsoever, and that's what we want. Once that's done, then we can proceed to the next adjustment, which is bridge height adjustment.